Hello, welcome back to Let's Play Shadowrun Hong Kong. Okay, last we left, we had repelled the Demon Queen of 1,000 Teeth. And we had done it by understanding the laws that they work with. I'm not quite sure where we... I'm walking away, sorry. To be honest, I'm not quite sure how the logic quite works out. I opened enough clues to create the right dialogue options, and I understood the clues well enough to navigate the dialogue options. I'm sorry about one thing is that I should have gone over all the different dialogue options and indicated which ones were which and what they would mean. I'm probably not going to do alternate endings on this one. All the alternate endings I can think of are really horrible. Anyway, Ambrose looks exhausted. He slouches like a sack of rice in his chair, gray bags under his eyes. Despite his bedraggled appearance, robot arms whiz around the clinic, reassembling it from its stint as a refugee bunker. Noel! Boy, it's good to see you. That was nuts. You see the news reports? Meth factories, cyanide gas spill in the walled city, causes hysteria? What a crock. I don't know what that was, but it was not that. I'll tell you what it was. A mechanical arm swings over and points his gripper claw severely at you. It was some dodgy, crazy-ass shit. Do you really want to know? He looks you up and down. You know what it was, don't you? Yes, I do. Parses his lips and stares at you penetratingly. Tell me about it later. I've got to take care of the neighborhood right now. It's a mess around here. To be honest, with the way the Yama Kings work, it's probably a good idea to spread that information. I'm hoping I see Algernon so I can report to him. Granted, Noel does not know Algernon, but I'm hoping to see Algernon and strike up a conversation with him. It'll be interesting. But once things are back settled, come around again. Drinks are on me. Storytelling's on you. His habitual grin creeps back across his face. I make a habit of knowing nothing about the drifter runners who move through, but in this case I bet you've got one hell of a tale to tell. The mechanical arm that pointed at you earlier pats you on the shoulder affably, almost tentatively. Word is you offer your favors to kindly. Nice job. Word is you worked off your favors to kindly. Nice job. That's got to be an all-time speed record. So you going to stick around? I don't know yet. Yeah, fair enough. You've got your own history, that I know. Well, while you're figuring it out, Ambrose grins widely at you, his living eye twinkles. Sahara Combat League races every Tuesday night. Desert Wars preseason starts next week on Thursday. Potluck style. I provide some wicked homebrew. It's also good for cleaning engine parts, but otherwise it's bring your own beer. A bunch of the smuggler boys come over, and Deshi, Yox, Fang, lots of good folks. You know Skippy, the bonesaw in Wampoa Garden, he comes over too. I think that's Zippy. Well, whatever his name is. Crafty also sometimes, believe it or not. She's a sweetie. Don't be late. His signature grin grows even wider. Laughing at the pre-show corporate news feeds is the best part. See you then. Bring your own beer. Got it. See you then. Shoot straight, watch your back, always keep a trauma patch and a few spare mags. His grin lapses into a winsome smile. He winks. If you can avoid it, don't deal with triads, but never, ever on your mother's soul cut a deal with a dragon. The way your last character did. My last character? Your player knows what I'm talking about. My player? In all honesty, I think that dragon is not one of the worst ones. I quite like some of the dragons in Shadowrun. So, Shadowrun 1. This is what Shadowrun Returns with Universal Brotherhood should have been. This is something on the scale of the Universal Brotherhood and the Chicago instance. This level of skill and beauty applied to the Shadowrun Returns story arc. Ooh. So much shivers. All the story. Good to see you, Noel. What can I get you today? See you later. You have absolutely nothing to say. Let's go talk with Law, I think. Well, we're over here where Crafty is. Can't go in the bolt hole. It won't let me go in the bolt hole. Lovely. I kind of got the feeling that all the dreams my character was having weren't her dreams at some point. I can't pinpoint it. And I didn't talk about it anywhere in the story, in the videos, but I kind of got the feeling that she was feeling the impulses of the Yama King, Kian Ya, the whole locking them out kind of made me think that. So that's another set of clues that I wouldn't have had if I hadn't done the catch arrest. The familiar sight of clutter greets you, as if the shop's earlier attempt at organization were just a phase. Unrolled scrolls, that musky paper scent, and a light buildup of dust on the bookshelves, cramped but comfortable in only the way the 5 phases could be. A content Crafty stands behind the store counter, focusing on something in her hands, a sketchbook she's drawing. She glances up and smiles widely. Hey, you! I was thinking maybe we could talk a little bit. How are things? Things are good, well, better. The dreams are gone, and that's a burden and a half lifted from me. I've set aside my mother's journals. I'm sleeping again, well, trying to. She shakes her head, shrugs tiredly. Things don't really feel normal yet. I've learned that things that have changed me. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to feel. Maybe it's like a wound and a bandage isn't going to fix it. It needs to heal. Guess I was just hoping that once all this was over with, life would go on like it had before. She stares at you. You know, Noelle, the course of my life changed partly because of you, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Really, I'm happy with my part in all this, that I could help you out even a little. That sound you didn't hear is me widening my eyes and nodding quietly, because that is only a little is massive understatement there, Crafty. You know, your mother's journals played a big role in all this. I admit I'm frustrated. It's so easy to say that in retrospect. I didn't know what was going on. I couldn't understand it, but she was still selfish to put her research above her family. She was also the reason we were able to unearth the evil secrets of that city, the monsters inside it. She helped us understand them, and in so doing, their weaknesses. She lets out a long breath. Thank you, Mother. A timid smile creeps into her expression, but the real smile dances inside her candlelit eyes. Thank you, Noelle. You deserve just as much credit as I do. More, even. She waves her hand. Yeah, Noelle's just... Our character is just the instrument. Crafty is the hand. Okay. She waves her hand. All right. Let's not devolve into a bunch of doughy thankfuls. We made a good team. Let's leave it at that. I may have been our character's choices, because not so much just an instrument. We went in knowing. We went in armed. Crafty's the one who armed us. I was thinking maybe we could talk a little more about dreams, maybe. Do you want to know what I think about dreams right now? She holds her index finger up to your face. Her index finger peels down, is replaced with her middle finger. This! She drops her hand. I am done with dreams, discussing them, researching them, having them. Thankfully, I've been so tired lately that when I'm asleep, I'm out. It's a world of blackness, and it's wonderful. Do me a favor and never bring up those horrible things again. I don't care if you dreamt you were in a cradle full of kittens. Tell it to someone else. Ah, sounds fair. She smirks playfully. I'm glad we understand each other. See you around, Crafty. See you around. I used the same voice for both of you. That was a mistake. The entire reason for doing the different voices, even acknowledging that I can't do accents, is to make it clear which character I'm talking about. I'm reading about. So doing the same voice for each one is not a good idea. Also, however, the voice I do for Noelle is sort of my default female character voice that I fall into regardless of which character, what I've decided is my character's concept. Oh well. You hear the laughter before you reach the podium. The 3 men are, as usual, engrossed in the game before them. You can see the tall figure of Lao studying the board, and Shu laughing as Gin pouts in his corner. The only tension in the air is between Shu and Gin, mostly Gin. But despite their ongoing rivalry, they both seem relaxed and carefree, like the weight of a great burden has finally disappeared, allowing them to savor the thing that makes them happy. This game isn't over yet, you old fart. You just watch. I'll make a comeback so beautiful it'll make you weep. Gin stomps his foot for emphasis, or perhaps out of frustration. Let's see it then. I love a good comeback. At once the men shifts their attention to you. An array of motions pass through them, and from Gin's eye rolls to Lao's stalwart nod. Shu claps his hands together, cheeks flooding with red. Ah, Noel, I've an urge to hug you, but I doubt these old bones could withstand your embrace. So good of you to visit us old men again. Had any dreams lately? I have, leans forward. It was terrible, even worse than before. I was standing here and the sun was beginning to set. It was beginning. Lao looked nervously at him. Shu continues. The sun was beginning to set. It was red like blood, casting a rippling red reflection off of the water. I became lost in the reflection, as if all of my senses left me, and suddenly I was filled with a sense of foreboding. I broke through the spell and turned back to the game, and Gin had won. He burst into laughter. Gin reaches over the game board and whacks him. God damn it, you badger. You really had me going there. I thought we were done with those accursed dreams. Oh, you were doing that in a spooky voice, weren't you? Sorry, Shui. Wish I could go back and read it. Oh well. Had me going too. See? You upset Noelle. Shui looks at Gin in surprise. I believe that's the first time you've ever called our friend here by her name. Hers name? Harebrained schemes, please. Editing. Her name, Gin. Don't tell me you're growing fond of her. I said nothing of the sort. You're just old and deaf. Misheard me, that's all. The old man blushes, a strange look for him. He seems to realize his reaction and coughs to cover it up. But the flush lingers. Oh, of course, of course. Then I take it you haven't had any more dreams. If by dreams you mean exquisite visions of buxom geriatric women, then absolutely. Geriatric? Gin crosses his arms. But beyond that, no. The only nightmare I've had recently was about my hair falling out. Does geriatric just refer to age? In which case, okay. But if geriatric refers to some medical condition, or, the medical conditions connected with aging, She shrugs. That's happening already. Gin scowls at Shui, then turns his head towards Lao. What about you, Master Lao? My evenings have been peaceful. No dreams of the past, the present, the abstract, or macabre. Just dreams of go. Smile touches Lao's lips. The other two look at him and nod their heads in agreement. Shu speaks slowly. We've been on this earth for a great many years now. Some have been good, some bad, but of all the things I'm most thankful for, it's your good company and our games of Go. You keep calling Lao Master, even though he's younger than you. What's up with that? Shui smiles. Let a group of old men keep their secrets. Perhaps after a dozen years and twice as many Go games, we will tell you. For now, know that he has earned our respect many times over, and leave it at that. Take care, you old coots. We'll be seeing you soon. I really want to know the story with that group. Okay. Reliable Matthew stands in the middle of his drone barge. The downpour has scoured the barge, but otherwise everything appears surprisingly intact. Most of his drones are still present, and even his balloons still float sluggishly. Really? Seriously? As always, he's grinning, languid, and frayed around the edges, like a primped debutante, sweating out a quart of alcohol from the night before. Good morning, beautiful. Welcome to Robot Paradise. How did your balloons survive a typhoon? He holds a single index finger up in the air emphatically. Science! Picking up a loose washer off the deck, he flicks it at a balloon. It bounces off the balloon with a low thunk. The balloon hardly moves. They're full of aerogel. I love those lighter-than-air solids. He winks. Your drones seem to be mostly here. He shrugs. I'm a lucky sort of guy. What can I say? Guess people are just trying to take care of themselves, not take another man's stuff. You have any thoughts about what happened? He shakes his head emphatically several times. Something happened. Oh, it was just a wild night. Real wild night. What a time. He looks around intensely, looks up at the walled city for a moment, shudders visibly, and turns away. Good times. Later, Matthew. Here's looking at you, Noelle. Come around any time. Oh yeah, one thing, Noelle. I've decided to branch out. I'm telling Ambrose I'm not just going to be one person anymore. I'm going to be a lot of people. He thrusts his chest out proudly. All sorts of good folks. You're going to vary up your BTL experience, aren't you? We have one more person to check with. And it looks like he survived. Law stands amidst the typhoon-drenched aftermath of his store. He looks like he hasn't moved all night. Display cases are partly full of water. Ragged holes gape in the tarps. I don't know why I stuttered there on gape. Drenching the crates and boxes beneath them. Hi! Yo, Noel. His voice is haggard. He sways on his feet. Sup? Is your store okay? Well, a lot of this stuff is in bins or waterproof anyway. It's a full-on mess and a bunch of parts are probably wasted, but it'll be okay. Is that supposed to be speech? Somebody... Editing! Your games are wonderful harebrained schemes, but please... You look like bird shit. What happened? What do you think happened? His voice has the dreamy quality of sleep deprivation. I haven't moved since you last saw me, except to pee over the side. This is my barge and that's my boat. Their names are Kilgore and the Monkey King. I ain't leaving them for some storm so a bunch of crazy people from the walled city or whatever can strip them clean. He stares forlornly around the half-ruined shop, then suddenly breaks into a huge giddy grin. That shit was awesome! Wow, yo, rain so thick. I could hardly see the dock. It totally shut down the Wi-Fi. It was like the Stone Age. He thrusts his clenched fist high in the air, triumphant, heroic. Maximum Law 1, Typhoon Usagi 0. Boom. You're all right, Law. Thanks, Noel. You're all right, too. Well, I guess it's time to put this back together. How's Raquel treating you? Law pats the Uzi 3 slung comfortably under his shoulder. I kind of like her. Ambrose is going to teach me how to shoot. He says he can't really use her with a robot arm, so somebody's got to represent geeks with guns around here. I always thought he was a washed-up windbag, but he's a pretty badass dude once you get to know him. See you later, Law. Whether you get to know him or not, he's a badass dude. It's just, you learn he's a badass dude when you get to know him. See you later, Noel. Watch your back and shoot straight, and all. Law seems to fumble for words. His eyes fall on your PDA. He pulls himself up into authoritative sparing. You're still using that piece of crap? That thing uses Scarab chips, but the Array Core Alphix O2s are much better. It's got a PCMA2 motherboard, which is a box of wet noodles. You could actually out-talk him if your decking is 7. Same old Maximum Law. See you around, friend. Hey, I'm not done telling you. Law's shrill voice slowly begins into the sounds of the docks. The patter of rain falling on the tarpaulins, the sizzle of cooking, the creak of old wood, and the rapid music of metahuman voices. Beneath it all, the eternal roar and mesmerizing electric hum of Hong Kong. Okay. Oh, there they are. Okay. So, it looks like we've got everything. Going to save. Probably pointless. Going to save anyway. Should read as Aftermath. Oh, the bouncer's in here to tell out how many times I walked past your place. There's the bouncer. There's Kylie Chang. Why aren't you over there? Oh, I didn't read the space down at the bottom. I'll have to... You know what? The other option is to go back and read it when I'm watching the video later. This is kind of chintzy. But it's really not really that chintzy. The commotion from the streets of Hayoi bleeds into Kindly Chang's mahjong parlor. Tried soldiers bustle to keep up with their boss's orders. Couriers come in regularly, whispering to her lieutenant before listening intently and running off again. I am going to go ahead and complete this video. And I'll pick it up next time. One more video for a wrap up. It's looking like it's over, but we'll see. We still have to talk to our crew. Talk to you later.